So Judas, being Judas, went ahead and betrayed Jesus on a really I don't know, just bold, that audacity at the highest level. After Jesus welcomed Judas into his disciple group, went ahead and worked with Judas, and Judas did many things and saw Jesus perform many, many miracles, and yet Judas still betrays Jesus. My God. Okay, so then Judas comes in and he's got all the Roman policemen behind him and goes straight up to Jesus and says, what did he say? He said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and kissed him as a kind display of hello, how are you? But Jesus already knew that kiss was the sign of betrayal. So Jesus, being Jesus, said, "Just do what you came to do, friend." Listen, he's not calling Judas a friend as in he's really his friend. He's saying wow, you were supposed to be my friend. You were supposed to be my disciple. I have taught you, and I've performed miracles in front of you, and yet you're gonna be the one that betrays me, friend. Ooh, that just... Then the men stepped forward, seized Jesus, and arrested him. With that, his friend gave him up. That just... With that, one of Jesus's companions reached for the sword, drew it out, and stuck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his ear. "Put your sword back in its place," Jesus said to him, "for all who draw the sword will die by the sword. Do you think I cannot call on my Father, and he will at once put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels?" My God. Okay, so then one of the other disciples sees what's happening with Jesus, that he was just betrayed by Judas and that the Roman police are about to arrest him. So Jesus's real friend whips out a sword, cuts off this guy's ear, and Jesus is like, "Whoa, do you not think I don't have a Father in heaven who can send down 12 legions of angels to get me out of this situation? Ye of little faith." Okay, so Jesus is arrested, telling people calm down. But how then would the scriptures be fulfilled that say it must happen in this way? And Jesus knew that this is the story that had to play out in order for the people to recognize who Jesus really was, and not just who Jesus was, but who the Roman Empire was, and who all these Pharisees who say they're holier than thou, who they really are. Because ultimately, the crucifixion of Jesus teaches that we are against an evil power. Jesus came as a sinless man. He was kind and loving, even to his betrayers, and yet he was crucified on a cross. In that hour, Jesus said to the crowd, "Am I leading a rebellion that you have come out with swords and clubs to capture me? Every day I sat in the temple courts teaching, and you did not arrest me. But this has all taken place that the writings of the prophets might be fulfilled." Then all the disciples deserted and fled. So basically, one of Jesus's disciples betray him and point him out to the Roman guard so that the Romans can arrest him. This begins the whole process of his crucifixion and resurrection. And Jesus is calm through it all. He has no evil to present. This is why he's the sinless man, because anybody else in this situation, would have been so ticked off at their friend that they betrayed him, greeted him with a kiss, even though that kiss signaled his death. And yet still, Jesus said, "Swords down, we are going forward, and we are moving forward in peace and love, even though these people are about to kill me." And yet, after all that, he's God, I hate Christmas so much sometimes. We pour so much Christmas spirit into Santa and elves, and yet we are not teaching the youth that ultimately Christmas is about our Savior's birth. This man's birth, who still was kind to his killers. We don't talk about that though, right? We just talk about the fact that Santa's gonna come with a bunch of gifts. This is how the world ruins your gateway to heaven. This is exactly how.